All right, guys, we are live here on Facebook and on YouTube. It is our weekly-ish Omega Sports Show that streams live on the internet. I am here with our head of apparel, Cleo Faucette.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for letting me join in. You know, I always have something to say, so.
You always have something to say, and you're always a great person that I call and like, hey, do you have something to say this week? I need you on the show.
And I'm always in.
That's right. Well, and I also want to thank you because I know you're going to be going on a well-deserved staycation, right?
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Yes.
So you squeezed us in before you started like letting the Moroccan band come into your home and you go into your staycation.
You're absolutely right. That is very true. So we're going to have to make it. It's a good start to my staycation. So I'll be excited.
Right. And you really, Cleo, I just want to, first of all, just remind people, you are our head of apparel. You were a beloved market leader in Greensboro for many, many years. You worked in other stores as well. You've been with Omega for how long has it been?
Wow. It has been 11, almost 12 years.
That's right. And you know what, Cleo? You and I together are going to get to 13.
We can do it. We'll be the little engines that could. Together. We'll be chugging along.
Yeah. We're going to get you to 13 and beyond.
That's right.
So you had all this experience in the stores. And then, of course, you were promoted to our head of apparel. And then because I got the chance to work with you even closer, we started doing podcasts together.
Yes. It's been amazing. Starting the podcast and meeting these awesome ladies along the way. And we need this platform locally in North Carolina in general, but, just across the country, more women, letting other women know that it's okay. And then how to move forward and be successful.
Yeah, that's right. And so, of course, we're talking about the Omega Sports Women's Only podcast, which, of course, folks can go to podcast.omegasports.com to see not only the Women's Only podcast, but they can listen and read more about all of our wonderful podcasts that we have.
Yes.
But yeah, I think you are nailing it. Like the Women's Only podcast was really something special. It's something that Omega Sports really, for the first time, kind of put our expertise where our mouths are. We said, we've got the expertise, we've got the opportunity to do it, but we've never said, let's just do a women's only podcast. And I promise you, we've had, as you remember, we've had people going, well, why's it got to be women's only? And it was very clear why that was important. And as we say to another powerful woman out there, Diane, how are you doing? Thanks for watching today. Diane Urban, of course, if you guys are familiar and following us on social media, had a spectacular event. Cleo, of course, was a part of that as well, celebrating Diane and her fantastic contribution to the Greensboro community there. So Diane, thanks for watching us today.
Absolutely. Love you. Thank you. We have to catch up one day.
We'll have to actually get Diane on your podcast.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yes, Diane, I'm going to call you.
I don't know if our producer's ready for that, though.
I don't know. Mary just might fire both of us because we'll have too much fun.
That might be too much fun on one podcast. We might have to rethink that. Well, Cleo, so you talked about being able to interview such powerful women. I think that was the main driver for the podcast. Obviously, for Women's Only, it was to talk about all things that are important to women. That can be sports, that could be, staying fit, that could be fashion, that could be all kinds of things. Oh, I see Corey's in there today.
Hi, Corey. Yes, I love Corey. Corey is awesome. And let me tell you guys, if you're not following Corey on Facebook or Instagram, you are missing some serious comedy. He's hilarious. I digress.
Make sure, Corey, you put in your comments where we can follow you because we'll put it up on screen. We'll blow you up.
Absolutely.
All right. So, we said that the podcast covers a lot of different subjects, but more importantly, it's about empowering women. And, you have been a central figure within the Omega Sports world as far as a top ranking, very talented woman in our organization. Of course, we're not just talking about your time at Omega. You bring a lot of experience to the table, both your fashion expertise. Of course, you went to school for fashion marketing. You've got your MBA. You've done a lot to make sure that you've been successful in business. But give us a little rundown of your background.
Oh my gosh!
Prior to
Omega. If I do that, I just might tell you guys my real age, and we're not going to do that. So here it goes. So I do have an associate's degree in design. I have a bachelor's degree in design and marketing, and then I have a master's degree in master's in business and leadership, executive leadership. So, a lot of education, but, prior to all of that, I had spent a lot of time behind the scenes in fashion. So I worked in California, a lot of pressure, sleepless nights, but I loved it. So now I'm slowing down. I'm with Omega. It's been a lot of sleepless nights, but I love it. I love the customers, love my coworkers. So it's been great.
Yeah. Well, and of course, you've got a couple of extracurricular activities that you do still in fashion. That, of course, if you follow Cleo, let's go ahead and put your handle up on for Instagram. It's at Cleo_Faucette.
Yes.
Folks will get to know you a little bit more beyond Omega Sports and know of all the other talents that you put out there in the universe, including another podcast that you are the host of with some co-hosts.
That's right. Yes, I do have another. It's called Blackball TV, and we talk sports the whole time. And it's a bunch of women talking sports and, giving our opinion, because there's starting to be a platform for that, but it's still not as big as it needs to be. So,
yes,
2 podcasts, but love them all.
Yeah, as someone who has listened to it, you guys are hardcore sports fanatics.
Yes, we are. And we all know that I slip in a Pittsburgh Steelers anytime I can.
That's right. That's right.
Always.
I see that Charissa is in our comments saying, hi, Miss Cleo.
I miss you, Sarissa. You got to come by. You have to tell me when you're coming to the store so I can meet you.
Yeah, so that's one thing to talk about, Cleo. Like, you're in our corporate office.
Yes.
You're going to all the different stores, but you definitely have a heart for our Battleground location, which, of course, you served as the market leader for quite some time. And you're always over there helping out the store, market leader Tom and assistant market leader Tyler. You're out there just always making things happen in the Greensboro community, and to the point where I thought you lived in Greensboro, and you don't. You actually live closer to Burlington.
That's right. I don't live in Greensboro, but I spent a lot of time there, and the time I had in the store was great. The customers are amazing. I still come over and help some of them and meet them, even if I'm in the store, doing things with the apparel and the inventory. If I see them and they're there, we just pick up where we left off.
That's right. So Diane, Corey, Carissa, you guys know Cleo. Just imagine me coming with a camera crew or myself trying to get Cleo to do some extra, social media, extra marketing,
always
videos, some product shots, and get some recommendations on camera. And I'm literally thinking this is going to take 30 minutes.
No.
But an hour and a half later, Cleo is still working with customers, and she's still back there, trying on shoes and talking about all the wonderful reasons why people should try different products. And I'm just sitting there, just taking pictures of just no human being products, just nobody to take a picture of. Cleo's over there working with customers. And then, of course, she's like, I'm ready. And I'm like, I really need to go at this point.
I'm like, okay, we've got 10 minutes. We can do this.
Yeah. Well, Cleo, I want to talk a little bit more about the podcast. I know you've had some fantastic guests. You are a very popular podcast in our suite of podcasts. We have, we keep bringing on more podcasts because you've really, you've upped the game for us. And we've got, of course, Dr. Jablanca in Charlotte. He's got our Move More podcast. And then more recently for the Greensboro folks in the Triad, we've got Matt Clancy, an endurance director over at E3 Endurance. He's got his own podcast with us as well called the Omega Sports Endurance Podcast. And in pre-production, we have more podcasts coming. So you're a trailblazer in podcasts, but I want to give everybody at home a quick snippet of a few of your most recent podcasts. And then I definitely want to talk about some of the exciting guests you're going to be having pretty soon drop.
Okay. Sounds good.
I started running in 2013. And that was because I wanted to mark being 10 years smoke-free. I wanted to do something big, and Rock and Roll Raleigh was coming here. And I did go to a wonderful Omega Sports. Yeah. I didn't know anything about, getting my stride and my gait measured. I knew nothing, okay? And so I had been running in cross trainers. I won't give the brand name, but okay. I had been running in cross trainers, and people were like, "Are you kidding me?" And I was like, "Well, this is just what I had. I didn't know what else to do." And after that, of course, I went and I got fitted for my very first pair of Saucony guides, and let me tell you, they have never failed me. Ever, never, ever, never, never, ever.
And I didn't have something of my own. And I decided, I'm going to just kind of do some different things. And so I, believe it or not, started off with a triathlon. I saw someone at the YMCA with a Try It for Life shirt on. And I was like, hey, what is that about? And asked more questions, learned how to swim at age 40. And I did a triathlon. But the interesting piece was the run was my favorite. And running began to be like meditation for me. Like it was that moment where you can have runs where you could be on the greenway and you could just cry. Nobody would see you. And you could just let it all out. Like you had a stressful day and something just said, just go out for a run. So running became more than just seeing what your body can do, but it also became my moving meditation. So it was like my quiet time.
And so many of us, especially as women, we feel like we need to have a cape on at all times. And secretly, we do.
Right.
But it's okay to not come in first place.
Exactly. Because it's a lot of other people who are sitting at home and that you may be trying to impress, but they're judging you and saying, oh, well, you didn't finish, or, oh, you didn't do that. Like I probably could have did, this, that, and the third, but guess what? You didn't. So I still can say that I went through, this race. I may have not finished first or second or third, but guess what? I finished it. And I walked across that finish line. I got my medal or my t-shirt or my snacks, whatever it is, I got it. And I can say that I did it and I didn't give up. And that's the most important part.
Gosh.
Obviously that's a little bit of a flashback for you. Those
Wow.
were some of your more recent podcasts.
Yeah.
I just want to quickly say, before I get to some of the comments that came through during that kind of run of podcasts, what I love about it is that 2 of those that we showed, I know the second one was Kimberly, and then the third one was, is it Lindsay?
Brittany.
Sorry. Brittany.
Brittany.
Both entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Both very successful, looking for a platform to share their story. And we were so blessed with their stories. And then, of course, I can't forget our first one that we showed, Mimi.
That's right.
Mimi, who's like my new best friend.
That's right. She is your new best friend.
She's a powerful news producer locally here in the Raleigh Triangle market, the Raleigh-Durham market. And to know that with her, credibility and all of the success that she's had, she found her running passion and all of the tools that she needed in our store. And of course, big shout out to Daisy, because Daisy is obviously the one that geared her up correctly. And she's just become such a big advocate for Omega. And once again, even though she has a very successful career, she also wants to get her story out there on why running matters to her, why fitness matters to her. And you were able to give her that, to the point where, Cleo, after your podcast, I'm probably giving one of them their own show, and probably another one a show, because I met Mimi at the On Fashion Show,
last weekend.
We did it the weekend, and she cornered me.
Yeah,
and
she's amazing.
We're working together, and
she's
all
amazing.
I said was, I'm already in. You don't have to persuade me.
You don't have to woo me. She's amazing, powerful, passionate, just all about getting your mind focused, getting your exercise in line, and just living a happy, healthy life. She's amazing. I can't wait to see what she does down there in Raleigh, her and Daisy, because Daisy is killing it down there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know those clips, probably for folks that may have heard that for the first time, may seem very runner heavy, but the truth of the matter is it really is about, overcoming obstacles, overcoming bad habits, making a choice to, have more activity, setting goals for yourself, living through tragedy and overcoming and getting that mental strength that you need. And also that bravery of just going out and opening up a business for the first time.
Yes.
Just tremendous work that you've done, Cleo.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. And Kimberly Hall, who you heard on there, we actually carry her products in 4 of our stores. So, She does the greeting cards.
So inspired.
Yes,
Yep.
the greeting cards. You guys, amazing. So you've got to check them out. Let us know what you think. But, just really giving women a platform to support them. And Omega Sports and our podcast is doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's read some comments here. So I want to give Carissa an opportunity. She says, I can't wait to hear your podcast, Cleo. Loved Matt's podcast. So a good shout out to Matt Clancy, our newest host of our endurance podcast. So good shout out for Matt. And then Corey chimed back in and said, this will be great. I'll be sure to share with my wife and daughter. And just to be clear, Corey, it doesn't have to be just, women that listen to it. It's certainly going to be the point of view of the guests. But I know if you listen to it, you're going to pick up some nuggets, as Cleo likes to say. That's a nugget that we need to. That's a
nugget, yes. And Corey's wife, amazing. She's been trying to get me out to go work out with the women's version of the F3, but they get up at the butt crack of dawn. And by the time I get there, I might as well not go to sleep. I might as well just stay up all night.
The what time?
The butt crack of dawn. That's early.
Really, that's early. All right. Well, so those were some previous guests. And of course, that's just 3. You have a whole lineup of wonderful women that are doing amazing work. And then I'm really excited for you to talk about. So again, we talked about these last 3 that we just showcased. Probably felt a little bit more running, a little bit more fitness oriented. I know Brittany's a cyclist, so she talked about her cycling. But you've also got, so Corey just threw out there, like, let's just keep it going. Keep it going. That's right. Put it up on the screen.
I'm sorry. That's funny.
We worked long enough to know what butt crack 30 is.
That's right. It's early.
That's right. But you have some newer guests. So as your podcast has been growing in popularity, you're on iTunes, you're on Spotify, you're on all the platforms. Of course, you can go to our Play More content studio as well, which is Omega's own content studio, to listen to these great podcasts. But you can certainly listen to them in iTunes and Spotify and get alerted when we drop a new podcast. Yeah. But you've got some exciting ones that I wanted to let you tease out because, quite frankly, I already did today. I already teased out some of your fantastic guests. Let's start with Kelly Gaines.
Oh my gosh.
We signed this great new partnership with USTA North Carolina, and we were lucky enough, or I should say blessed enough, to get the executive director, Kelly, who I had to negotiate pretty hard with to get this partnership done. She gifted us with her story, her experience. Tell us about your interview with Kelly Gaines.
I'm just going to say this. Kelly didn't need me. She was just so informative and easy to talk to, gave some awesome information. And the nuggets that she dropped, you guys are going to need pen and paper because she was amazing. And she'll make you want to get out there and try tennis just because of all her passion and all the years she's spent playing tennis and coaching. She's amazing.
Yeah, she is definitely the state's best ambassador for the sport.
Yeah.
I will tell you, Cleo, I was worried about you because I have been on Zoom calls with Kelly, and I feel like I'm going up against Roger because they just keep coming. So she's definitely very formidable and super sweet, and loves her tennis community. Loves the cities that the USTA have great membership in. And really, the whole point of the USTA is to just really lift the spirit of tennis in all communities, no matter what your household income is, no matter what your neighborhood is. Really, everyone should just take up tennis and have some fun with it because it teaches you some really great skills.
Yes, and it's an all-over workout. So you're working just about every part of your body except for your eyeballs. I'm just saying, everything's moving, and it's really great. And tennis. Kelly's very, very passionate about it. Very passionate. That was a great idea. I love
tennis, but my eyeballs get a workout because I'm always like this.
You didn't go for that one, huh? You're like, yeah, it's just gonna let that one pass by.
I don't need to break a sweat today. All right. So, of course, executive director. So, again, prominent figure. And we're not talking yesterday's, just newly appointed executive director. I mean, Kelly Gaines really built the USTA of North Carolina.
That's right.
Over decades. So we're super proud to be partnered with her. And, thank you for doing a really in-depth interview with her, which, of course, will be dropping very soon. And then the next one I wanted to talk about is, a lot of us in the running community know a lot about this particular charity, Girls on the Run. And you had an opportunity to talk to one of their leaders, Lisa Keller.
Yeah.
Tell us about that interview.
She was so much fun. Oh my gosh. So me being from the North, and she as well is from the North, it was just like sitting outside on the stool talking to my friend about running. And then her passion and love for running, making sure that she is in tune with what's going on in the community in Charlotte and Girls on the Run it's just so empowering to see that someone is giving that much love and attention to a group of young girls and giving them some leadership. So I was so impressed with Lisa. She's awesome too. So another one of my faves.
Yeah. And of course, if you're in the Charlotte community, you certainly will have the opportunity to be a part of the Charlotte Girls on the Run, but she's working across all of the areas. I mean, absolutely. Girls on the Run is a pretty substantial organization, and it really is about empowering young women to just get out there. And it's not really about the physical activity as much as it is about the camaraderie and the mental strength and just sometimes getting out of your current situation.
That's right. Absolutely. And that organization, I think what they bring to the table and offer these young girls is so much needed in today's society. They can go somewhere, work out, look up to women who look like them, are running like them, supporting each other, like they're teaching them how to support one another. And if you've ever been to a Girls on the Run, they participate in several races, like 5Ks throughout. The support that those girls show each other, it will bring you to tears, no doubt. I don't care how strong you are, you're going to cry because it's amazing. That's
right, Corey. You're going to cry if you watch it. Corey just subscribed, so he's gonna listen to the podcast, and I guarantee you he's going to be just as moved. Now, one of the things I will say as a side note to Girls on the Run, and USTA, these are women who are dedicating their lives, their careers to helping their communities.
Yes.
So a lot of that gets funded by charitable donations. It gets funded by membership drives. It gets funded by coming and participating at events. So I definitely want to make sure we'll drop some notes later on when we actually transcribe this show where you can get connected to USTA North Carolina, where you can get connected to Girls on the Run, whether it's in Charlotte or the national organization. These are worthwhile organizations that Omega loves to partner with, and we try to partner with and give as much as we can. But we also want to remind people that they can get involved just as much. And you don't have to have a daughter to be involved in Girls on the Run. You don't have to, you don't even, to be honest, you don't even have to go to an event. You just have to want to help someone else that may need that little extra boost to go to a camp or a training session or to be able to have a great event.
That's right. All that's absolutely true. You don't even have to be a world-class runner. You go out there and you may become a better runner. So having some accountability for each other is one of the other things that Girls on the Run offers. So if you can help, please do.
Yep. And then I think we just celebrated this. I feel like it was just yesterday, but maybe it was the day before. You got a wonderful chance. And I will say, I believe it was because of your great performance or interview with Kelly Gain over at USTA North Carolina, where she connected you with what I would call a local legend, right? Like I would say that this woman has made such a big impact, being the first of many, or the first in a lot of different ways in sports. So you got a chance to interview Coach P.
Yes.
Over, of course, known for her performances and her tenure over at Duke women's basketball.
That's right. Yes. So Coach P is, when I started interviewing yesterday and I went to introduce her, I just said, you know what, I'm going to call you Coach P because that's what she likes to be called. And she was okay with that. And I have to tell you, I was very nervous to interview her because, she is an acclaimed coach. I mean, she spent 30 years plus coaching at this top level. And she is taking time out of her schedule to talk to us about her journey. And it is unbelievable. Coach P, Coach P McCallie is her name. And she spent 13 years as head coach of the women's Duke basketball team down there in Duke. And it's an amazing interview, empowering, and it makes you feel strong is the word I could think of. After I got done talking to her, you just feel powerful. I mean, amazing. So it's a good one.
what I love about what Coach P really wanted to talk about, and what you of course spent time interviewing, you did a little bit of like fanship, right? You talked about her illustrious career, but really what she wanted to talk about, she wrote a book, and I'm sure we'll put it up on the screen in a second, the name of the book. But Coach P's, she wrote a book because she really wanted to help people understand what right now, today, is in the news.
That's right.
Mental health.
That's right.
Folks, and especially when it comes to athletes, and or if you have young athletes in your family, what turmoil someone can be going through, and you may not know it. They may be winning, they may be achieving, they may be hitting all the marks, but you really don't know what someone's mental health is really about. And of course, that is in the news. It's been in the news for months. I know it started with Naomi Osaka, and now of course everyone's looking at what's happening at the Olympics, but that is an untold story that needs to be told more. And I think I was really appreciative of Coach P giving you the opportunity to share it with our audience. And I can't wait for that one to come out. Now, that one we just put in post-production, so that won't be for a couple of more weeks.
Yeah.
So as much as we're trying to hype it up, I don't want people to think it's going to happen tomorrow.
That's right. It's worth listening to. It's worth getting her book or the Audible. If you like audiobooks, listen to it, because I mean, there were moments that I was jotting things down as she was saying that relates to things that I go through in my life on a daily basis, and just amazing stepping stones to living a healthier mental life, not just physical.
Yeah. And I think it's sometimes good to hear that folks that you maybe look up to, or you may assume they have it all together.
That's right.
It doesn't mean they don't. It just means that they're now sharing their story and their struggle, which would, ideally help folks understand, like, I'm not alone.
That's right.
I mean, everyone, especially, with everything that we've been going through with the pandemic, stress levels are up, mental issues are on the rise. I mean, there's a lot that people go through. And I think it takes some great heroes like Coach P to be able to share her story, and, and a great hero like you to be able to tell that in a conversational, fun, insightful way.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to let everyone listen to it and just get people's feedback. And at the end of our podcast, you'll listen to her tell you to reach out to her. And I thought that was pivotal. So,
I tell you what, I hope Mary put record on that podcast, because I can't wait to listen to it. It'd be a shame if
it's
she
amazing. She's awesome. So
do it all again. No. It's in the can. We're in post-production. We're good. We've got it.
I have no doubt. I'm never surprised with Mary. She always is on top of things. So yeah, it's an exciting podcast. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to it coming out.
Of course, we're talking about our producer, Mary, who's over here right now trying to tell me to move on.
Not surprised.
So, of course, for all your podcasts and all of Omega Sports podcasts, we want to recommend everyone go to podcast.omegasports.com. You can click on the women's only. You can click on Matt Clancy's endurance podcast. I strongly encourage you also to check out Scott Jablonka, Dr. Scott Jablonka, who's in Charlotte, with our Move More podcast. If you really want to learn something, like you've got some great conversations, you've got insights dropping all over the place, or nuggets, as you call it. But if you just want to be told,
that's right,
this is how it is, you definitely need to listen to Dr. Scott Jablonka's Move More podcast.
That's right.
He does not sugarcoat it.
Nothing. He's right to the point.
Yeah.
Love
so
it.
he's definitely a fan favorite. He's definitely been growing our numbers in our podcast universe. So I wanted to do a nice special shout out for Dr. Jablonka, because he's done such a great job. And then, Cleo, before I leave and go on to other things, I do want to also recommend, or I want to say, because you made a comment that Coach P took the time to, be interviewed by you, and she obviously had this huge career. The one thing that I want to point out is that she's also very well media versed, meaning like she's done interviews her whole life.
Yes.
And one comment that I got that I want to make sure that is that we got a note, our producer got a note that said, one of the best interviews that I've been in a very long time, very thoughtful, very thoroughly thought out, very comfortable. Like, I just want to make sure that you understand that you're not just delighting her. Like, you are talking to a media veteran who understands what it's like to have to sit and answer a bunch of questions. And you did it in a way that I'm proud to have you part of Omega Sports.
Thank you. Thank you. And her saying that, you don't know how much that means, because, we tried to be ready, because we knew, we're talking to someone who has done lots of interviews, on a grander scale. And I want to make sure that we show her that we're professional as well. And I want to talk to you, and I really am interested in what you have to say. And it means a lot that she said that to us. It just reminds us that we're doing the right thing.
Look, I remember we had an 11 o'clock meeting you could not be a part of because you had this
you
had to record the podcast. And I said, did you read the book?
I'm like, I didn't read the book. I listened to it. And the great thing about listening to her book is she reads it. Like, she is the one who is speaking it. And it's amazing because you really get to feel like you're in that moment with her. So yeah, it was awesome.
And everybody up their game, because I remember you're saying, like, I've got to get on this podcast. Can't be in this meeting, and I haven't gotten the notes yet. Mary's still working on the notes. And I said, that's because she listened to the book as well. And she's putting as much information to prepare you for the interview as much as possible.
And it was amazing. She had me so well prepared. I had some notes I had taken from listening to the book, because there were things that stood out to me, and I made sure I blended them together, because it was funny because Mary and I wrote down about the same things. I'm like, she's got it in here. So I'm perfect. This is awesome. But it was so wonderful. So
so again, for folks, as you're drooling over these fantastic interviews, just know we're going to have Kelly Gaines' interview with USTA North Carolina coming out very, very soon. Then we're going to talk to Girls on the Run leader, Lisa Keller. Will also be, on the podcast. And then, of course, we're going to wrap that up with Coach P's interview. And then, of course, you've got more scheduled. You're not slowing down.
Not at all. So do not be surprised when we come back next time and tell you some of the other wonderful ladies we have lined up to just grace us with their nuggets, because we all have nuggets. We just have to share them.
There you go with those nuggets again. All right. I'm going to be like, your podcast is now sponsored by 20 Nuggets from McDonald's. All right. So Cleo, I can't have you on the show without talking about apparel. And I say that because you have completely just bombarded me with request after request and conversation and meeting after meeting about an exciting new brand that you are so excited to bring into Omega Sports. Now, it's already in the stores, but that was just a tickle, right? That was just a little tease to get people used to it, get our team ready to start mentioning it. But it's going to go on the website. I know we're working on a dynamic lookbook. When I say that this is probably one of the most exciting apparel launches, or drops, I should say, in our stores in quite some time. Would you agree?
I would agree 100%.
All right. So why don't you tell the good folks watching today what the apparel brand is, why you love it, and then I'm going to play a quick little video about the brand so that people get a real good sense of it. Okay.
Okay. So this brand is called Alo Yoga, ALO, Alo Yoga. It's a yoga brand. I do some yoga, but I run and cross train. But just because it's a yoga brand does not mean you can't use it to, run and exercise and cross train and do yoga and, or use it just leisurely as a lifestyle brand. Their fabric feels like it's amazing. I mean, you don't want to stop touching it. It feels so good. If you researched and looked up the most popular brands for women, Alo was number 4. So I'm not even going to mention the other 3 because they're not worth it. But I will tell you that Alo is number 4. We are so happy to have them in the stores. And their stuff transitions from working out to going to the store to taking your kid to the park. I mean, it's so comfortable, and it's just one of my favorite new brands. And I'm so excited that we have it.
Exactly. So let's just put it in perspective. Number 4 does not sound like, it's like you're not even on the podium. But let's be real. You've got major brands like
that's number 1. Yes.
Number 1.
Cough again.
You've got big brands that are worldwide that have been doing it for years and years and years. And for Alo to come in at number 4 right now, it's actually worth bragging about.
It's very much.
They're fairly new. They have taken over social media. Everyone's wearing it. It is not what I would say is that it's not only just for yoga. I mean, it definitely has that, you know, you need to stretch, you need to be fit, it supports your body, all of that. But you'll see from this video, Cleo, that I'm about to play, you know, some of the, we're going to actually talk to a designer that talks about kind of why they produce what they produced and kind of what people can expect when they try on aloe. So let's watch that video real quick.
Okay.
This is going really well.
We're rooted in yoga, and it's important for us as a design team to be true and genuine to what we're delivering. We look at the styling, the fit. Our focus is always shaping, sculpting, figure flattering, as well as having comfort. We help dress and elevate the practice of some of the world's best yogis, so the performance of the fabric is key. We get inspired by all sorts of things, some common, some uncommon. We travel, we are inspired by aspirational designers. We look at runway constantly, and also nature and architecture. We try and do projects as a team to think outside the box. So we do fabric dyeing projects together. We'll take existing garments and try to interpret them in a new and fresh way. The design team wear tests every single integral style in the entire size range that the style is offered in. We test these styles in our on-site yoga classes that are offered every day. We're inspired by our practice, as well as constantly having a contemporary lens on our design direction so that our styles seamlessly transition from studio to street. That's something that's really important to us. Our apparel goes beyond the mat.
So just some quick points there, from studio to street.
That's right.
The style and the comfort and the performance go beyond the mat.
That's right.
Those were my big points that I took away from that. Would you agree?
Yes, I agree 100%. And leaving the mat and being able to put on like their joggers that are amazing to walk around in, their sports bras, their tanks, their shirts, from head to toe, that aloe brand is pretty strong. Like, I'm very, very excited.
So it's fair to say you're a huge fan.
You know, that would be an understatement, but yeah, I'm a huge fan. Like, we're supposed to wait the 30 days to buy it, but I convinced Tom. I said, Tom, but let me just try one. And he's like, all right, okay, go ahead. So I bought the jogger and went back after 30 days and bought another one and then a top to match it. So if you go in, put it on, you will not regret it.
Yeah, and just so everyone gets a good sense of how things work at Omega. So you obviously get a wonderful opportunity to meet with various brands. And of course, probably every other hour, you're getting an athleisure brand hitting you up saying, hey, we'd love to talk to you. So you did your research. You knew that this was a growing brand. I would even dare to say you went after them and you were able to secure them. And then you have to almost internally market it because, of course, you know, all of our employees need to learn about it as well. And I think I've heard, you know, from North Hills Daisy to, you know, Wendy over in Winston-Salem to our co-owner, you know, Kristen Carlock, everyone's talking about aloe. Even our finance leader is talking about it.
That's right. That's funny. Yes. She thinks it's amazing. It feels nice. She loves it. All I can tell people is you have to go in and just looking at it, you can see why it's such a great brand.
Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, there's always materials, there's the look and the design, but I also think that price point's always important, right? So, you know, there's lots of athleisure brands that are out there that are, you know, quite the penny, right? They cost a little bit more.
Yes.
And no judgment. I mean, if you love those particular pair of, you know, pants or leggings or tights,
absolutely.
Absolutely. I know I have been in stores and I'm like, are you wearing? And they're like, yeah, you know, and we don't sell those. But the nice thing is I've seen the transition because now we are going to start carrying, and our female employees are now saying, wow, we actually carry stuff that I will wear to work and go out to play and have fun and go out and run errands or go out for the evening. So you've really kind of captured this special brand where it's affordable, it's giving you the high quality, it's giving you the off the runway looks that everyone's looking for. So yeah, kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I was excited to be able to bring them on. I thought they would be a great fit for us. We started with women's and we're going to add in men's as well. But just the two, men and women's together, it is amazing. Their colors are great. They're sharp. The fabrics are crisp. The cuts are unbelievable. And you can tell that they're on trend and everything that is popular in the market. You know, may it be on the runway, may it be just in lifestyle brands in general. So their colors are great. So if you're a person like me, I watch color stories just to see what's going to be popular. They are on trend. So I think everybody's got to go in and give it a shot.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I will also say, we only did just a little bit of a presentation of Aloe, but for folks that want to really kind of understand the brand and why I know you love it, they're sustainably responsible.
Mm-hmm.
They, give back to the community. They understand that especially in the yoga world, being mindful is very important. So they're very purposeful in all of the things that they do, from the tags to the placement of certain things within their garments to the packaging, like just super thoughtful.
Very thoughtful. Yes, they are an amazing brand. That's all I can say is go in, try it on. Let me know what you think.
Well, so Cleo, I want to do a giveaway.
Okay. Yes, right, so I won. Thank you. I'll go pick up my stuff.
Obviously, just give a pair of pants away. But I will say I'm willing to, of anyone who's still watching or anybody who sees this video, we're going to give it until, I know our viewership usually runs about 2 days. So we do it live and then people keep watching it because I keep pushing it out there. But let's say on July 29th, I'm going to end the contest. I need everyone to like this video. And then I want you to, in comments, I want you to put hashtag Cleo rocks. So like the video and do hashtag Cleo rocks. And then I'm going to go ahead and select randomly one of our winners to win a $50 Omega Sports gift card. And of course, we'd love you to get Aloe, but of course, it's good for anything in our stores and or online.
That's right.
Does that sound like a good thing, Cleo?
That sounds awesome. I think that's amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Look at Sharissa. She's first. So
she's already there.
She's already in there.
That's right.
I love it. Yeah.
You know what? Clarissa, just for being first, I'm going to give you a $25 gift card.
Woohoo! Yes. Now I have to tell you,
25, and if you are lucky enough to win the other, you'll walk away with 75.
Girl.
If no one else likes it, you're going to walk away with 75.
There you go. See, that's a win and a win. And Sharissa has been a long time customer at the Battleground store. She's amazing. She's part of BGR, very supportive in the community as far as running and exercising and staying healthy. So it was really great to see her on as well. And Corey is part of F3. So they're doing wonderful things with the men in the community. And they do a lot of things with working out and spirituality and all those things. So shout out to those two because they are two of my other favorite customers. Love them.
Yeah, I miss them. I love their groups. I love F3 and of course Black Girls Run. We're building even more what I would call good neighborship with a lot of these great organizations and groups that are out there. So I love the fact that number one, they are a fan of yours, which of course by your leadership within our company, they become fans of Omega as well.
Yeah, I do. We love them. So we've got a few people competing.
I see people are competing. So Cleo, before I go, I gotta know, what else are you doing on your staycation?
Oh my gosh. Well, let me just tell you guys, I have a 17-year-old daughter, so she's probably going to have me all over Greensboro, Charlotte, and Raleigh shopping. Somebody's got to spend the money I'm making, so she volunteered herself. So that's it.
There you go. Well, wonderful. All right. Well, Cleo, I want to thank you. Yep. Well, I want to thank you for joining us today, for making the time, for really celebrating your podcast, the Women's Only podcast. And then, of course, letting people know, kind of why Aloe is an important brand, why they can see some of it now, but then there's going to be so much more coming to kind of build out that brand. Because, of course, we want to empower women with not only great podcasts and great gear, but also make them feel good, make them feel confident. And I think that just kind of that's your trend. That's that's the trend you're setting for.
That's right. Absolutely. It was a pleasure. I'll do it anytime. You know that. Thank you so much.
All right, Cleo. Well, have a good one, and I'll talk to you probably Monday.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Bye.
All right. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you for watching our live Facebook and YouTube show. Thanks for all the folks that joined us during the day. Of course, I just want to leave you with that $50 gift card giveaway. Like the video, use hashtag Cleo Rocks in the comments. Whether you're watching on YouTube and or on Facebook, make sure you do that so that you can get entered to win. The contest will end on July 29th, probably around midnight. And then I'll wake up in the morning and pick somebody. All right. You guys have a great week. Have a fun today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and all the way into the weekend. Make sure you check your emails. There is a new offer in stores and online. Make sure you check it out. Have a good one.